Desert by definition is large, dry, barren region, which kind of makes sense. It's this large area, it's dry, and you see very little what? You don't anything, life or water, you see nothing. Yeah, that's why it's barren. There's 4 types as she mentioned, and you're gonna see these words a lot: tropical and temperate throughout all the biomes. So pay attention to those. Tropical, you think of like we live in a tropical area, right? Hot and dry. Temperate is dry and a little bit cooler, and then you get coastal, which is cool, and you end up with the cold desert. But generally, I want you to know that deserts can either be hot or cold. That's really the way they group them. So generally, in terms of climate, the desert during the day is what? Hot. And then it's actually cold at night. And that's because of the lack of water. Water's property is to absorb heat all day and release it slowly. And since there's nothing to release, it just goes away and gets really cool. It's less than 25 centimeters, or as she said, inches. And even when it does rain, because it's so hot, the water evaporates before it falls to the ground. So the little bit of water that falls to the ground is very valuable in a desert because there is none. The soil can be sandy or like what? What is that picture showing you? What does that look like? Clay, good. But overall, and this is very debatable, they say deserts are nutrient rich. They have some kind of conditions for that. Like a farm, lacking what? Water. They've actually, and there's a picture of desert farms where they're actually using plots of land to grow things because it is nutrient rich enough to be able to grow crops minus the water, which seems like the most. So back to the barren land is due to what? Lack of water or precipitation. And they mentioned this, they didn't mention the name of each type. She did a great job with succulent plants. An example of a succulent plant is a cactus. And what they do is have the ability to store water. The other type of plant, which she mentioned, plants need to find water. If they can't, they don't have it, they need to find it. So they send their roots deep down, and those are called mesquite plants, and they tap way down to try to find water sources like in aquifers or any kind of underground water. Animals are what? Look at the pictures and tell me. Nocturnal, good. They do have long ears, which is right here. What else? Small, tough exterior, good. What else? They burrow. And let me drop this a little so it comes out in the video or bring it up. Some animals can become dormant during extreme, I wouldn't say animals, I would say their organs can become dormant during extreme heat. So it kind of slows them down because hibernation is an animal becoming dormant in a sense. When this situation is more like their organs become dormant, and they overall have an ability to conserve water. And all these environmental problems that have to do with climate are all correlated. I told you that before you started projects, but one that's directly correlated to deserts is the off-road vehicles. And because it's such a limited resource of water, anytime you destroy a plant life there or animal life there, the recovery time is extremely slow. And also the burrows. So the off-road vehicles cause the burrows to collapse, and that leads to loss of habitat, which I didn't even finish my sentence.